The United Nations Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief says what he saw in Turkiye is simply devastating. He says what were once homes filled with families and memories, as we've just seen with Des and Tathia in Turkiye, have now been flattened. These are some of the accounts from those who are on the ground as the country is continuing to deal with the aftermath of the deadly quake. So far, we're hearing we could be north of 30,000 deaths in Turkiye and Syria. Now, however, of course, there's going to be a knock-on effect, not just the human tragedy, not just the destruction of infrastructure, but also politically and economically. Well, thankfully, we have an expert from the region, political and economic analyst Mehmet Özkan, who has been very kind enough to join me from Istanbul this afternoon. Mehmet, hello to you, and I appreciate your time. We will talk about the economy and the politics of this in just a moment, but I see you in Istanbul. Very briefly, how were you affected by this earthquake, and what's the area around you look like? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. I mean, personally, of course, my family is safe, but I have lots of friends who are affected directly, including some of my close friends, unfortunately, lost in this tragedy. So everybody is impacted because everybody has family connection in different parts of the city. So it's a big tragedy in terms of human side for Turkey. So we are all affected directly or indirectly. That's what I can say, and including myself. And I lost some very dear friends.
And I'm very, very sorry for your loss and those you've lost and loved ones and those who you call friends, Mehmet. And I thank you for your time. I would like to get a sense then, economically, let's perhaps just start there for a moment. Economically, how devastating has this been for the country?
Look, I mean, now, of course, probably the economic picture and political picture we will see in coming weeks. But as we look from now, I mean, 10 cities, which is consist of around 13 million people, as affected directly. So we have to rebuild 10 cities again, along with different small cities along the side. So we are talking about a huge area to be reconstructed totally, and as well as for those people to be taken care at least a year. While states will be building their houses. So economically, it will be, I know different institutions, they are estimating different costs, but I think it will be, I estimate it will be at least 30–40% of Turkey's GDP, extra GDP will be spent on this reconstruction effort. But as I can see from today, the picture is not clear yet, because now still we are focusing on the human tragedy side, and in coming weeks we will see the real picture. But this is devastating. As you know, Turkish economy has been suffering, has been passing through a different time in last 6 months, 8 months. It has been recovering slowly in last 2–3 months. But now, of course, this will be below the Turkish economy. But let's see. But we believe that international solidarity and also Turkish people's solidarity, sense of solidarity, will be helpful on that, and including solidarity from South Africa. I have seen gift of givers in the field and different institutions. We are very thankful for them. I think with that help, we will recover. But economic side, of course, we will need help as well in coming weeks and months, and we believe there will be some international support coming to that area as well. Not the first aid as we are receiving in these days.
And what now happens? Both Syria and Turkiye itself have been affected by this. Is there any cooperation between the two after a devastating earthquake like this, or is it still very much Turkiye handling its internal issues with the earthquake and Syria separately, or has there been any collaboration whatsoever, Mehmet?
Look, I mean, it doesn't come to media a lot, but as you know, in the northern part of Turkey, especially in the area, Turkey is very effective, and Turkey's security forces there, and Turkey is helping the opposition there. I mean, schools are sort of helped by Turkey, and Turkey's influence is huge. Actually, Bashar Assad has no influence in that area at all, because it's under opposition control. Of course, Turkish efforts, those Turkish citizens and Turkish government officials, they are helping them, but it doesn't come to the media a lot. But the issue here is to prevent another flow of refugees, because we have been facing in last 10 years. So I think the fact that we're focusing on northern side, on Turkish side, it does not come too much on the other side. Also in Turkey, as we are going to for a period of election, as you know, either in May or June, there will be an election in Turkey, parliamentary and presidential elections. And the Syrian issue, including some xenophobia or some, refugee issues, has become a political issue. Some opposition parties has been trumping on that, literally. So that's why it doesn't come to media that Turkey is helping in northern Syria. Rather, I mean, rather than helping inside Turkey. Even there are some remorse, some political parties they have been. So it's more under the carpet. But those Turkish officials, those Turkish entities are working. They are helping there as well. I mean, including, for example, I mean, I can see there are some friends. They are there and they are helping with the situation. Of course, that is not that visible. That's not as strong as Turkey is doing in its own soil.
Devastating, obviously, from the humanitarian side, buildings collapsing, never mind the damage to the infrastructure. And now, of course, we get a sense, Mehmet, and I thank you very much for the kind of damage to the economy as well, and what it's going to cost to try and rebuild the country. Mehmet, once again, my condolences to those that you've lost in this tragedy, and very, very kindly taking time to speak to us from inside Istanbul this afternoon. Political and economic analyst Mehmet Özkan, all the way from Istanbul over in Turkey.